But thank you for coming to our second meeting. I would like to just go ahead and just open this up with, I'm going to try to do this at every meeting, pretty much just affirming our non-discrimination policy. I do want this to be a safe place. So you are safe here and we're not discriminating against anybody. We're seeking to build bridges and we want to support our non-discrimination policy through this club. With that said, I also firmly believe in the Land Acknowledgement Act, and I'd like to read that for us today. The land that North Carolina State University sits on is land that was originally stewarded by two indigenous tribes, Tuscarora and Catawba. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this territory through colonization, and we honor and respect the many diverse indigenous peoples still connected to this land. You know, and it's one thing to speak, it's one thing to say the land acknowledgement, but it's completely different to go ahead and learn more, why it was developed and why it's over at Bull Hall. So I have a link in the presentation, and from what I noticed in the YouTube videos, you can actually click on these links, but if not, I'll include them on the description so you can learn a little bit more about that. So who are we? This is for those who may have missed our first meeting. I'm just going to quickly recap who I am and who my treasurer is. Maria Prado is the treasurer for SACNAS at NC State. She's a junior majoring in biological sciences with a concentration in the human body and minoring in health, medicine, and human values. She has been wonderful to work for, I guess, because she controls the money. So she's been absolutely wonderful to work with. We've gotten along really well, and I know that as you get to work with her in the future, y'all are really going to enjoy spending time with her. I am Osvaldo Amilcar Rodriguez. I am a non-traditional student. I transferred from Wake Tech, and that was my junior year, and I've been having a blast ever since I've gotten to NC State. One of my big concerns, though, has been diversity on campus, diversity for also amongst our staff, and then retention rates from going from undergraduate to graduate levels and then going into the professional industries. So through SACNAS, which I'd like to just briefly thank several of the professors that are here right now have had an active role in helping put this organization together and get it started, including Dr. Katie Hale, and Dr. Gordy. They've been absolutely amazing at helping us with this stuff. So a big shout out to them. And again, if I didn't mention your names, don't worry. I'm actually planning on doing a big thank you for y'all. So thank you for everything. But it's been a lot of work to sort of put this stuff together because we understand how important it is to promote diversity on campus, not just for making awareness of students who are underrepresented, but also to improve the sciences as well, to improve the contributions that we make in a variety of different fields, and improve each other as we're presented with new perspectives. So for me, this is a big, big point for me for being a part of this organization. And I hope to share that with you, but as also get new perspectives from other students as well, and into what they would like to see SACNAS be. All right, so I'm going to go over some of the nominations that we received. Our last meeting, we did a basic recruitment for nominations, and I sent out an email. So a couple things that was brought up to my attention about elections. We cannot elect, the nominations have to be completed 2 weeks, no less than 2 weeks before the actual election date. Yes, I think I said that right. Basically, our elections have to be 2 weeks from the close of our nomination dates. So that's going to be September 16th. So we have some time to really get to know the people who are nominating themselves or nominating others for the positions, and also engage one another to make sure that it's going to be the right fit for you, see what the responsibilities are actually going to be, and determine some of the projects that you would like to implement, and see how we can help each other in those projects as well. One thing I want to emphasize: if for whatever reason you don't want to serve on the executive board, but you want to know how to participate and still be, a member of this, we're going to have plenty of opportunities for us to work on different projects throughout the year, throughout the school year, that will involve more than just cooperation from the executive boards. It's going to be us basically serving y'all. And so if you don't have an executive position, or you don't want to be in an executive position, but you still want to contribute, we're gonna make that happen. So in the meanwhile, the first person that I would like to announce for their nominations is Cameron Angulo. She has preferred, oh, by the way, anything that you see underlined is the preferred nomination. But nominees were allowed to be elected or nominated for more than one position. So Grand Scribe or Media and Design. I picked a quick quote that I found from each nominee that I'd like to share with y'all. And from hers, it's what she would like to contribute within these positions. And she believes that retaining and targeting alumni that can serve as a professional network is extremely important as a Grand Scribe. So I'd really like to just acknowledge that and just put that out there. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how we're going to get to better know our nominees after we go over some of the initial ones. Next person has been nominated for Vice President, as well as Grand Scribe, Event Coordinator, and Ambassador, Alexis Navarro. And in their quote, "I would like to help establish this organization's brand by recruiting more members, helping organize and plan events that reflect our values as an effective method for making progress in our ultimate goal, and by maintaining an encouraging and enthusiastic environment within the club." And I think this is really great. I think this is something that we can all resonate with. One of the big issues that we're going to have now that we are not going to be existing on campus is we're not going to necessarily have a very personal community. So we're going to have to sort of explore this virtual environment and see how we can facilitate having a new community over the virtual environment, how that would function. So hence sort of why I want to start a little bit more socially with our meetings, so that we can make sure that we have time to get to know each other. But at the same time, how are we going to reach out to people outside of our organizations to spread our message and implement some of our goals? So, really appreciate this quote. I think that speaks to a variety of our positions. Emily Coronado has been nominated for ambassador as well as vice president. I thrive in communication and community outreach. I am very passionate about connecting students to resources they need and providing guidance in their everyday lives. And yeah, one thing that I really love about everyone who's attended so far is we've got a good mix between students, both undergraduates and graduates, with varying different types of experiences and expertise in a variety of different things. So, in this quote, I see that. And I think we definitely will be taking advantage of a lot of that expertise and trying to help one another. And lastly, Millie Jimenez. She's elected for Media and Design, as well as Grand Scribe and Ambassador. I would like for the places that we are going to promote our organization to represent what we want and to be able to reach out to people via interesting designs and more. And part of this that stood out to me, and I hope stands out to y'all as well, is promoting our organization and making sure that the people we promote or partnership with represent what we want and what we want to accomplish. And I think that's very, very important. Definitely as we start talking about fundraisers and maybe collecting sponsors and things of that nature, we may run into roadblocks where we will want to make sure that we vet the people that we connect with, or the organizations we connect with, to make sure that they are positive with the community and that they have a positive image as well, and that they support the values that we have. So this is really great. And then also the media that we're communicating as well. We want to make sure our message is being done in a way that can connect with as many people as possible while being assertive with our values. So as it stands right now, based on preferred positions, so this is not any of the secondary positions, but based on preferred positions, Grand Scribe, Vice President, Ambassador, and Media and Design, these positions are currently going uncontested, unless those who have been nominated and have secondary preferences would still like to run for election for one of their secondary preferences. So I've never done this before. I'll definitely very much appreciate some feedback in terms of, what to do when you have people who are very interested in different positions and how to do those elections. but what I can tell you right now is that we still have until September 4th to collect new nominations. There will be another email going out tonight, just again reminding people that our nominations are open and to fill out the forms if they're interested in being nominated for a position. But once September 4th comes along, we'll be closing those nominations so that we can have our election September the 16th. If a position goes uncontested, then on our next meeting, we'll announce what those uncontested positions are and offer that to those persons who are running for that position. They can choose to decline it or go ahead and wait until September 16th to have the official election, at which point we will then have them run and we will vote on the members and their eligibility for that position. But how are we going to do this? Because as you can see, we've already taken up some time just talking about the nominations, and it can be very time consuming, and we only have so much time on Zoom, but we may have more free time to really get to know one another on our own time throughout the week and the weekend. So FlipGrid, yes, it's everyone's favorite new version of Zoom. I like FlipGrid. I'm guilty of liking FlipGrid. I think it's actually really great. If you have not experienced FlipGrid yet, there's a couple of career fairs going on right now and service fairs that NC State has been promoting that utilizes FlipGrid. Basically, it's like a social media platform, but you go in and you post videos of yourself or of things that you care about, and people can freely enter into those lobbies and see what those videos are, comment on them, or take away information that you think is important. It's extremely easy to use. You don't have to have software, complicated software to do it. I think you can even do it from your phone. And I'll be more than happy to help you if, in case you don't have or know how to use that program. I'll be happy to walk you through the steps and try to see how we can get you a video up there. Later on today, after this meeting, I'm going to be sending out an email recapping this meeting, including the link to be able to watch this meeting on our YouTube channel. By the way, we have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you noticed that already. But it will include some directions for what we're going to do with that. So the videos should be no more than 5 minutes long. Nominees, you will basically have a prompt that you will follow. You will post your video up there, preferably by September 15th, if not earlier. And so that way we have those videos ready by election date, September 16th, and everybody can have some time to view those videos. These videos, though, will accomplish two things. First of all, they're going to facilitate promotion of nominations. So that way we have as many students engaged as possible on time that is efficient for them. But also, why not also develop this as a tool for public education? So one of the cool things that I kind of came across when I was doing FlipGrid is how customizable we can make the prompts and how many students can freely engage with the Flipboard or FlipGrid. So one of the questions that I've put down for our nominees is to identify a scientist, inventor, or a notable figure who has made some kind of contribution or invention to the STEM fields and of minority descent. And to just quickly go over who they are, what they've accomplished, or what one thing they did that's really important, and then what they mean to you. Why does that person inspire you? And I would like to just have this FlipGrid available so that we can use it on our website. By the way, we have a website now, but that we can use it on our website and also collect other students' feedback, or not feedback, excuse me, entries to build this sort of library of student information that we'll have about other faculty members or scientists within our field that we can promote to the public. This would be a really great tool to be able to communicate with people who maybe don't have too much time to really learn about scientists of color or of Hispanic origin, Chicano, Native American. But it'll also give students the opportunity to find out about these scientists themselves. In one of my classes, I was actually assigned to do this, and I realized that I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. So I think this will be a really great way to do it. So for nominees, please have this done by September 15th. Even if by September 4th you run uncontested, I will very much love for you to participate in this and post it by September 15th. For the rest of us, even if you're not running for a position, if you are faculty, graduate, uh, doesn't matter who you are, I'm going to say, let's go all the way till October 1st. And let's try to get our submissions up there. You can do as many as you'd like to, but you only need one. And for y'all, pretty much just pick out someone of interest who's a minority and who's contributed to the STEM field. Do a little bit of research on them, learn something new about them, see if that person inspires you, and share that with us. And we're going to use this as a promotional tool. So I'd really like for y'all to take advantage of that. Please email me if you have any questions. You can be as fun as you'd like with this, or it can just be very, very direct, a video just like this. Doesn't matter, because it's going to be used for education anyways. So like I said, we'll be taking those submissions on through September. I will send you an email for all the information for how to log on to that. But it's also here if you want to take a picture with that with your cell phone. So next slide. All right. We are now entering into chapter status updates. Maria Prado and I have been doing some research to make sure we fully understand what it means to establish ourselves as a student chapter. So just to be very, very quick, we are in this process right here, like between these two things here, because there's several things that we have to do in order to just even try to reach provisional chapter status. Provisional chapter status is something that gets sort of approved as sort of pre-approving us as an official chapter on NC State. But before we can even get the provisional chapter status for 12 months, we have to show that we have plans for developing the chapter, that we have an established membership, no matter how small it is, and what type of activities and engagements we're going to be doing throughout the semester. So we've gone through some of the first steps to get us to preparing for a chapter application. But the one step that we're sort of pending on is chapters at SACNAS.org, contacting the SACNAS National Chapters Manager. And the only reason why that's been sort of pending has simply just been because of all the other things that we needed to do so that we can sort of present ourselves and say that we've been working and we're ready to be considered for working towards this provisional status and then hopefully towards the official chapter status. There are several key items that we have to be able to prove by January 31st in order to get the official chapter status. And that is that we have active membership. And so active members means that those who are in attendance of each individual who's in attendance of meetings, that they attend 50% of all the meetings that we have. So if you could just make a note of that. If you want to become an engaged member of this organization, try to make it to at least 50% of the meetings, if not all. I promise they're not all always going to be presentations. We're going to have a variety of different things that we can do. But 50% commitment from all of y'all is what we need in order to make the official chapter status. Other things that we have to do is we have to prove that we have activities scheduled, that people are participating in those activities, and that we also have to show that we're conducting fundraising. So that is something that we will be sort of really putting down in stone in the coming weeks as we elect our executives, have a full roster, and move forward with some of the decisions that we have. So for right now, the big project that we have on the table is, again, taking advantage of FlipGrid and really showing that we're going to be active and getting projects done together as a team. So another huge goal that we have is the National Annual Conference. So over the weekend, we worked on budgeting. We started looking at what kind of expenses we were going to have, what kind of fundings we could request, and we've applied for a couple of things. So right now, applied for funding for 4 tickets. This isn't approved. We still have an interview that we need to go to in order to see if they will approve this funding. But yeah, the National Annual Conference is going to be coming up, and the tickets are $204 a piece for every student. Now, it's a week-long conference. So there's a lot of really great information. Again, the email that I'm going to be sending out is going to be detailing a lot of that stuff. There's a really good incentive for why you would want to join in attendance for that national annual conference. But I understand that that can be out of reach for many of us. It's out of reach for me, to be honest. Like, I'm going to have to go, like, I don't know, sell art, do something in order to get it. So what can we do to start alleviating some of those costs for all of us? Well, obviously fundraising, but how are we going to fundraise if we can't have a bake sale? You know what? This is a new age. Modern problems call for modern solutions. One of the great things one of the cool obstacles that we have to sort of overcome is we have to establish a logo. And when we establish the logo, we're essentially establishing a brand for ourselves that we're going to use to represent across NC State, but also to the community. We want to connect with community members because we want to increase the number of minorities or underrepresented community members who are applying to the university or interested in the university. So we have to brand ourselves. One way that we can do that is by doing a t-shirt design. Now, I am open to a ton of feedback. Please, 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 after this meeting, feel free to just come up to me and tell me, hey, I got an even better idea than a t-shirt fundraising gig. But this is something that I think will work really well. So fundraising t-shirt design. Our goal will be to sell at least 50 shirts to help raise funds for attendance to the National Annual Conference. If we can sell more than 50, great. But we can also do a variety of different things like masks. And I am getting a couple of comments here, so can I get into those comments? Sorry, guys, I will check out those comments and just, oh, no, there it is, I think. Here we go. Sorry, I don't want to miss out on these comments. I just want to see what they are. Yes, the scholarships. I will get to that in just a moment. There are scholarships available, but we're going to try to raise as much funding as we can for those who can't make the scholarship deadline or for new members that we attract. So also, Dr. KDL does point out that there is going to be opportunities to present your research at this conference. If you are working on a capstone project or you've been looking for places to participate in presenting your research, SACNAS is going to be an amazing opportunity to do that. This is a national annual conference. It has a great turnout every year, and they're fully planning on having a big turnout this year as well. So I highly recommend that you put this onto your calendar, and usually there will be other means through your labs to fund this, fund your attendance. But for those of us who may not have access to that funding, again, this fundraising is going to be very important. So that leads us to the next thing, logo designs. Like I said, I know that we're waiting for our media and design chair to be filled. However, please don't let that stop you from coming up with your own ideas. If you are really, really great with art, if you are great with logo design, graphic design, please let me know what we can do to sort of see what the ideas are, facilitate developing some of those ideas. If you know somebody else who's really great at this, shoot me an email. We'll get in touch with them and we'll see what we can do to sort of work on designing this logo and even moving forward with designing the shirt. Our social media, these t-shirt designs, different levels of promotions that we're going to have. This is all going to be done to, once again, connect with the community around us. We're not just going to be promoting SACNAS message on NC State. We're going to be promoting this to our whole community. So one thing that is sort of pending for clarification right now is either as provisional chapter status or without the provisional chapter status, how close or how many elements of the official logo can our logo incorporate. And I've looked at other universities to see what they've got, and some of them with official chapter status, I mean, they are full out using the SACNAS logo. And then there's others who've designed their own logos but have included certain elements. So as soon as I get that clarification, I'm gonna go ahead and send out a separate email that will have all of the information or sort of the parameters for how we can design our logo. And lastly, so like I said, I don't want these meetings to just be updates and be like, hey, this is what we're working on. See you guys next time. But we are very, very, very early in developing the club. So there's, quite simply, we haven't had that much stuff made yet. So one of the things that I'd like for y'all to do later on in the evening is maybe nominate a professor or a researcher on campus, even a grad student. Let's do that. Grad student as well, that you would like to spotlight this year. I'm not sure how many spotlights we can do throughout the semester because, as you can see, there's a lot of events going on. People are very, very excited despite having to go all home to participate in their own organizations. And I want to give a chance for us to shine, but also for other organizations to shine as well. But I would like to see if we can get who we can nominate to come and invite them to give a small talk or do a seminar, review the research that they're working on right now, or even give their ideas or their experiences in what it was like to increase diversity within their own fields, or what challenges they're seeing within their fields and how they're trying to address it. So if you have a professor in mind, a grad student, a researcher, even a professional that you would like to nominate, please email that to me. Again, I will have contact information in the email I send out to everybody. Well, please send that to me and we will get working right away to contact them and go ahead and set up some communication with them to see when they could come and do those seminars for us. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you're looking forward to that as well. Lastly, inviting SACNAS leaders from other campuses. I don't have the person's name in front of me, but there was a member that was with us last week who gave us this really great idea of talking to other SACNAS leaders who've had successful clubs working on their college campuses. So this is something that I've started working on already. I'm looking forward to getting replies and seeing just like who we can get from all around the nation to sort of come talk to us and tell us what they've learned, what they've done that has worked well, and what they've done that hasn't worked at all. So once I get more news about that, I will let you know. But this is a big plan that we have coming forward. So thank you for watching this presentation. Again, I will be sending out an email that will sort of briefly go over all of this stuff, as well as include additional instructions about the FlipGrid. That's our big project for this month as of right now, and also nominating professors to be professors, faculty, researchers, or grad students to be members or participants within seminars. So those are our big projects for this semester, this month, and I'm looking forward to having you all participate in that, okay? So I'm gonna stop this sharing now.